Hi, my name is Angela De Souza, the founder and CEO of Women's Business Club, and I'm super excited to come to you today with our very first episode of Women's Business Voice. This podcast has been a long time coming. Probably we've procrastinated a bit too much bringing it to you, but we wanted to get it just right. And we want it to be exactly what the women of the world needed to be. We don't want this just to be for UK women, but we want to speak to and connect with you, women, across the world, and where possible in your language. And so that's what we're attempting to do here, Women's Business Voice. But let me jump back and let me tell you a little bit about how our journey began at Women's Business Club. So come back with me to 2013, a beautiful little restaurant, 11 women, one man. Yes, there was a man there. Over lunch, we were having lunch together, and that was the very first Women's Business Club. The idea behind this business lunch was to create something where I would feel comfortable networking. You see, I hated business networking. I felt very uncomfortable, felt like I didn't fit in, had to act a certain way, dress a certain way, speak a certain way. I just saw myself as a housewife and a mom. I never took myself seriously as a businesswoman, and definitely didn't feel like a businesswoman when I went out networking. And so I wanted to change that, because networking is essential to successful business. No matter what you're doing, networking always pays off. Whether you want to advance in your career, you've got to network and rub shoulders with the right people. If you want to build a business, you need to be out there. You need to be visible. You need to be networking. So networking is something that I knew I couldn't avoid, but I didn't see why I couldn't enjoy it rather than loathe it and just feel totally inadequate. Now, looking back, I know that I felt the way I did mostly because of my own insecurities. It wasn't the people in the room, it wasn't the men, nobody made me feel that way. It was largely because I wasn't confident. I didn't find my place in the business world yet. Starting Women's Business Club definitely helped me on my journey, helped me to become confident and find my place in the business world. So now when I go back to mixed networking with men and women, I don't feel out of place. I know how I fit in, and I don't feel I have to be like someone else to fit in. And if people don't like me, that's just too bad, because I can't do anyone else. I am who I am. So we started that day without a plan, without a vision to build a global network, without any, idea. It was simply to create a networking event where women could come and feel comfortable showing up as women and finding their confidence and identity in the business world. We had lunch. It was a healthy lunch. That was one of the things that was important to me, because ladies, I put on so much weight from networking. It's breakfast baps, it's, champagne and canapes, it's sandwiches for lunch. And before you know it, Angela was expanding. And so one of the things that was important to me was that we have a nice, healthy selection of foods available at our networking events. And so we had lovely salads and salmon and all sorts of delicious but healthy foods. It was also important to me that our speaker was educating us and contributing to our business growth, not just spending half an hour pitching their business to us, trying to sell something to us. And so I was very careful about the speakers that we invited. Back then, we had men or women speakers. As long as they offered value, it didn't matter what gender they were. We just wanted to learn and grow. In more recent years, we have limited it to mostly women. Not because we weren't learning from men, but because we wanted to make sure that women were getting an opportunity to deliver talks. We wanted to give them a platform as speakers. And so we do tend to favor women now as well for that reason. And then other things, like we just wanted women to come as they are, dress as they are, feel comfortable. And that's how Women's Business Club started, over lunch. As I said, 11 of us, one man speaker. And it was amazing. The very first event, I just felt so alive. I felt like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. It ticked all of my boxes. And I knew that it would also tick other women's boxes. Not everybody liked women's-only networking. Not everybody wanted to come to our events. At that time, our brand was pink and grey. A lot of women objected quite passionately. Why pink? I'm not coming because of the pink brand. Anyway, each to its own. And but from there we grew into multiple lunches, multiple clubs. We went from there to offering training. We introduced a membership. From there, we went to a franchise. When I reached capacity, I realized that I wasn't able to do much more on my own. I needed other people, but I wanted to run the same model. And so within 6 months into the journey, we introduced the franchise model. And then towards the end of the year, we thought it would be nice to celebrate together, bring all the clubs together over a larger lunch, which I now claim as our very first women's business conference, even though it technically wasn't a conference. But it started the conference. It was the seed. And so that was our very first women's business conference. And then at the conference, we added our awards ceremony. Again, this sounds like a lovely, clever business model, but none of it was planned. It all just happened and unfolded. And it really has, that first year really has formed the basis of what we continue to do now 11 years later. Awards. I want to quickly digress and talk about our very first Women's Business Awards. So the intention was to have some entertainment at this very first conference. And so I thought awards would be fun. We had very tongue-in-cheek awards. We had the Loch Ness Award for a member who paid her membership and we never saw her again. We had the Mother Hubbard Award for one of our members who had 7 children. We had the Compulsive Blogger Award for a woman who blogged after every single one of our business lunches. And we had several. We had various just fun awards to entertain us at the Women's Business Conference. Then we also had a little bit more serious awards, Business Mum of the Year and Business Woman of the Year. And it was a lovely event. You know, it was December time, so it was very festive and we had a great time together. But what really impacted me was how important these awards were to women. I meant it as entertainment. They took it as encouragement. They took it as acknowledgement for a job well done. We saw press releases. We saw radio interviews popping up where women had gone and let the local media know that they had won an award. And that helped me realize how important it is to have our Women's Business Awards. It really does make a difference. It creates a very positive vibe, everybody nominating and supporting and sharing each other. But it also really does show that you've done a good job and somebody has seen it and acknowledged it. Equally, a few years down the line, I've also learned the incredible marketing and PR value of awards. Awards is a very clever way to get noticed, to get your brand out there, to get in front of people who may not notice you. And so awards are a very big part of what we do. So in the story that I've shared with you now, it all happened in year one. From January, we launched in January, all the way through to December with our conference and awards. And so this model continued because it worked. Women loved it, I loved it. And we grew year on year until the word that we don't want to say happened, the big pandemic, the big C word. And like everyone else, we went online because it was either that or shut down. There was no more in-person events and everything we did was very much around in-person. So we set up online networking events, which I didn't enjoy, but it had to be done, online training. And towards December, we thought, well, we better cancel our conferences and awards now because we can't meet up in person. But close to the end of the year, I started thinking, why don't we try running this online as well? Because everybody else is online and it might just be a nice positive end to the year. And so within 6 weeks before the event, we set up a whole online award ceremony and it was amazing. I was so blown away at the positivity in the room and how exciting it was for everybody in such a dreary time, in such an uncertain, negative time during the pandemic. We were coming together and celebrating. We were celebrating each other. We were, getting together online, and it was just amazing. And so I thought, wow, this could really work. This could really grow. The key thing for us there was that this enabled us to reach women anywhere in the world. And so from that point, having put our networking events online, our awards online, we also then put a version of our conference online, and Women's Business Club Global was born. We could now connect with women across the world and support them, champion them with everything that we were doing. A long story, cutting it short, jumping ahead to today, we now run both. We run online events and awards so that we can continue to reach as many women as possible. But our emphasis is always going to be as soon as you're able to meet up in person. And so we have a fantastic little model where we can set up a coffee and co-working event in your area within a matter of hours. If you want to lead a coffee and co-working, get in touch. We've got it all set up, super easy to run, no stress, because we want to get you back out meeting in person. And so that's what we're up to now. And that's a little bit of the journey of Women's Business Club, where we've come from. Now let me tell you where we're going to. This is super exciting. Where are we going? Oh my goodness, I have so many crazy dreams. I don't think I'm going to get to realize them all in my lifetime, but it's so much fun trying to build this with you and the women of the world. So we have built what we call the Clubhouse. This is our online platform where women can come together and access training, access webinars, access our vault. You can network with each other. You can build groups around common interests or expertise. You can access events. We have rebuilt our entire events module. There's so much you can do on the Clubhouse. This is available now, and there's no charge. If you want to go ahead, womensbusiness.club/register, and you can have a look around the Clubhouse. This is up and running. You can join us anytime. What we're going to be doing with the Clubhouse is going to be disrupting several industries. So first of all, we're looking at introducing peer-to-peer lending. We want to get money out to you. We want to make sure your business isn't held back by lack of finances. The current statistics are saying less than 2% of female founders are accessing capital for their business. And this is shocking. We really want to get more money out to you so that your business can grow and flourish. And so peer-to-peer lending enables us to enable you to learn, to lend and borrow. It enables you to have a safe way to do it with a fixed 5% platform fee, interest rate and a fixed 1% platform fee. This enables you to get any amount of money. These are micro loans. You can start from the smallest amount up to any amount, and lending and borrowing. And from there, we want to educate women on how to become investors, and we want to go all the way up to creating and introducing sophisticated investors to the platform. The bottom line is, no matter where you are in the world, we want to make sure that money is not something that's going to stop your business from flourishing. And so that's one of the things we're building that will be coming out in around 2025. And also peer-to-peer mentoring. Again, another industry we want to disrupt. In the UK, and I don't know about your country, but in the UK, coaching and mentoring is unregulated. Anybody can call themselves a coach or a mentor, and they can be really, really good with a 7-year degree behind them, or they can be shocking with like a 2-hour course or no course behind them. It's very unregulated, and it's quite dangerous that somebody can pop up and call themselves a mentor or a coach and give you such important advice. We want to disrupt this industry. We're not going to be bringing in any sort of regulation, but what we are going to be doing is what's called peer-to-peer mentoring. And what that looks like, again, in the Clubhouse, what it looks like is you will then create your profile. The mentor will create their profile. They don't have to be a qualified mentor or coach, because that's not what we're promoting. What they do need to be is an expert in their field. If they're a finance expert, they will position themselves as available to mentor in the area of finance. If they're a marketing expert, the same. If, whatever their expertise is, that's what they're going to be offering to you. Not because they're registered as a mentor or coach, but because they know their stuff. You can then go onto the platform and you can get matched with somebody that you need for that stage of your business journey. So if you need support with finance, you're going to be mentored in that particular area until you're ready to move on to a different area of expertise. If you want to learn how to get onto a board in the company that you work for, then you are going to be matched with a mentor who has been on several boards, who knows the ropes and is happy to hold your hand and get you to that place where you can get on a board, etc., etc. And so I'm super excited again about disrupting that industry so that you don't have to struggle alone in your business. You can come onto the Clubhouse, you can access funding, you can access expert advice. You have no reason, no obstacles, and no excuses not to succeed in business. These are two of the many things that we're going to be bringing into the Clubhouse. Any problem that you might be facing, we want to make sure that we can find a solution, or we can connect you with somebody who has a solution, so that we see so many more businesswomen, women in both self-employed and career situations, so employed and self-employed. When I say business, it encompasses anybody on a professional journey, but so that you can be the best version of yourself, and be as successful as you can possibly be. That's the vision behind what we're building. And then finally, to bring us to today, Women's Business Voice. As I said at the beginning, this has been a long time in the making. We didn't just want to do another podcast. There are many out there and they're fantastic. We wanted to do something that, number one, gave women a voice, women who would not usually get on the global stage. We wanted to find these stories. We have stories coming in from dusty rural Africa, from Afghanistan, from Poland, from the UK, from the United States, from Brazil. We have women who have submitted their stories from across the world. These are women who may never usually get into the glossy magazines, get onto podcasts, get onto television. These women are largely unknown because they're just getting on with business. But we've found them, or somebody else has found them and nominated them, and they're going to be featured here on Women's Business Voice. Some key things that's important to us is that it's available in multiple languages. So we are trying to do something that I haven't seen done before, bringing these podcasts to you in the local language with a translator where possible, making sure that we understand the challenges that these businesswomen are facing. We don't just want to release a podcast and give them their hour of fame. We want to actually spend a month supporting them, finding out what they need support with, publishing their story in our magazine and on our website, and spreading the word. They're going to get a full month focused on their business so that we can tell their story, but really get behind them and back them so that they can have a greater chance of success. It could be anything. It could be the need for raising funds so they can expand. It could be that they need a new website built. We'll spread the word across our network and say, is anybody available to help build this business website? It could be learning to trade from one country to another and not just being stuck in their local economy, but able to reach the global market. Imagine what we could do as a network. Imagine what we could do collectively at Women's Business Club if we are reaching out and supporting each other, sharing each other's stories, and finding ways to practically, and this is important to me, to be practical about helping each other. So Women's Business Voice is going to be doing just that. We're only going to release one episode a month because we want to spend that month supporting the women that we featured. We're going to be reaching out to you, our network, and asking for help to support these women. And we don't know what help they need, but it could be anything. So if you have the expertise and you're willing to help them, that will be fantastic. And most of all, we're just going to have loads of fun sharing stories, hearing the challenges that they face, learning about obstacles that they've overcome. I have already heard these stories, and it is so exciting. I can't wait to bring it to you. So that's it from me. That's what we're doing. That's where we come from. That's where we're going. And I can't wait to begin this journey with you. Please like, share, spread the word. Make sure that these stories are getting out worldwide. So that's it from me. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next month.